back.
I'm Erika.
And this is Sherry.
And this is Generation Conversation, where old school meets
new school.
I'm new school.
And I'm old school.
So today we have a great topic. It's called Parenthood.
Yes.
Can't relate right now, maybe not ever, but it's about parenting. And we have some very special guests as well that we're bringing on. We got Duane and Fushsia.
Woo, woo, woo.
Yes.
Hello.
Breaking generational curses.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. I love it.
Love it.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, guys.
You gonna start off?
Nope.
Oh God. So my name is Duane, aka the Heart of David.
Okay.
Okay.
So just a little bit about me, like
Just
I'm
where you from?
yeah. So
how you guys...
originally from New York. I would say that I'm a motivational speaker. That's what I love to do. I love to spread a positive word.
Okay.
Because I know there's so much negativity that we need
that.
just a little bit of light, you know?
Mhm.
So I felt like if I could shine a little bit of light in darkness, everybody would be okay.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
You know,
And this is my beautiful, wonderful,
Hi,
gorgeous wife.
everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know how I got her. Everybody asks.
I don't either.
Everybody say, how do you deal? Yeah, I have no
and
clue.
mercy.
Yeah,
Grace and
it got to be God. That's all.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm Fuchsia.
What's up,
Fuchsia.
Fuge?
I like the color. My mom's favorite color. I'm a model, a mom, a wife, and I have to deal with this one, so that's a full-time job.
Yes.
Give her a hand clap for that.
Yes, she deserves it.
That's
Everybody
it.
know like we do. I will be clapping as well.
Listen, I'm the guy, like, I'm normally the guy that's trapped between, a lot of women, so I can handle myself.
Okay.
I can handle
So
myself.
in this
I work in the
situation, you'll be
in the
good.
medical field,
Right.
so I can handle myself.
That's true.
I got this.
You got it.
True.
Got this.
That's
Yeah, and actually,
true.
me and Duane, we work. Well, Fuchsia, I didn't know
I was
it
night
until
shift.
like
All of us.
Night shift. That's day
Hey,
shift. I'm a night shift.
So yeah, we worked together at a hospital, and that's how I met these lovely people. So honored that you guys come on the
Yes,
show
thank
Yeah.
you.
to talk about parenting, because you guys are parents.
Yes.
You're the newer age parents, so I needed some backup for that, because like I said,
Well,
I can't relate.
wait a minute.
One
now.
is newer, and one is older.
She has an old school.
Don't leave me
soul.
hanging.
Oh gosh.
We got this.
So we're on
New
it
school.
together. Y'all new school.
Oh, I see what y'all
we
did here.
old school.
Yes. This is a setup.
So she wants.
Well, no, this is good.
So she wants to beat the kid, and I want to talk to the kid. Exactly.
Well, this is good because it'll show in the same household, new school and old
Right.
school.
and how we come together.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
well, let's get into it,
Yes,
y'all.
yes,
Thank you
yes.
again.
Let's do it.
Yes.
So, for both of you all, you can answer together or separately. What do you think is the biggest difference in parenting now, new school, and then back in the day?
The difference is, one of the main differences are children now, they can speak their mind, they can be opinionated, sometimes it's too much opinions. However, I do appreciate that. Although I do have a more old school way of raising my children, I appreciate the fact that I allow my children to express themselves, because I didn't have that opportunity.
Right.
So I grew up with these generational curses that I had to learn to overcome and break as an adult, because I didn't know how to do those things and express myself as a child.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah, that's
Very good
good.
point.
Okay, sorry, pause. I meant to ask, how many kids do you all have, and what are their ages and gender?
2 biological, but we have a house of 4 children right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 19, 16, 15, and 5.
Wow, you know all of that so quickly. I was like,
That's the mom.
Those are my kids.
I was like 1, 2.
The dad is like, which one are you?
Yo. Wow.
Yes.
19-year-old will be 20 next weekend.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
That's
Very
awesome.
good.
So what about you, Duane?
What do you think is
What?
the
How many kids I
biggest-
got and how old they are?
Yeah, let's see how fast you can say that, right?
I don't even know how. I don't even know what I ate for dinner yesterday. How do you remember this? Yo, you guys are so good at this. Like, y'all can remember something that happened 1984,
Right.
February 2nd at 2 p.m.
Right.
Like,
Just think how vital that is in parenting.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta remember
That's
that
very
stuff.
vital in
yeah.
parenting.
And that's why we definitely need
Work
each other.
hard.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
right.
Yeah, that's big.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
2-parent household is always good.
It
Yes,
is.
it's important.
It
So
is.
what do you think is the biggest generational difference?
So for me personally, unfortunately, I was only able to answer this question subjectively.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I think for me, one of the biggest transitions for me is financial literacy.
Interesting. Yeah.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because in our past generation, I felt like I was taught, I'm going to say me, I'm not going to say we, I was taught to get an education, go to school, invest in your retirement, you know, enjoy it for 10 years.
Right.
And then
Die.
Yep.
Right.
For the most part.
most I die. You know,
Right.
I was never really taught to think outside of a particular box.
Right.
You know, and another thing also, I wasn't taught at an early age about credit.
Yeah.
About
We talk about that all the time.
I wasn't taught about credit. I wasn't taught about just how money management skills, or even how to even purchase a home. I didn't know how to purchase a home until I was about to purchase a home. So I think the main thing, at least what I try to stress, is teaching my kids. I try to stress teaching them financial education at this age, because our education system also has been teaches us how to be employees. So I think in order to break a lot of generational curses, and in order to pass on generational wealth, I think it happens through like the mentality as well. It's not just passing down money, because you can pass down money and pass down curses with it, and they don't know what to do with it.
Exactly.
So it's passing on that generational wealth with the mentality and the financial literacy.
Yes,
I think that's one of the main transitions for me.
Absolutely.
Yes. Y'all are touching on some great stuff. We're not
Yeah.
even 5 minutes in.
We get straight to it.
I do want to point out for all of our listeners, Duane has on a shirt that says "Generational Curse Breaker."
Right, and you got to read his hashtag.
At the heart of David.
You gotta say underscore.
At
The
the _heart of David.
Yes,
Yep,
his
yep.
Instagram. But I think that's big. Like, that's so major, and I'm glad we're having this topic, and you all are here to talk about it. But breaking generational curses,
Right.
that is major.
It is.
You guys really touched on everything that I would say is the biggest difference. I think, in my opinion, it's communication. Granted, I don't think across the board we all have figured it out and how to communicate, but the new school, we over communicate a lot of things. Old school, they ain't like to communicate nothing.
Shut up, sit down.
Yeah.
Right. So we need a happy
Speak when
medium.
spoken to.
Yeah.
We need a
Stay in a
happy
child's
medium.
place.
Exactly.
So I feel like you said, Fushsia, just we all have a lot to say. Like new school, even just young children, they have a lot to say, and I think it should be respected. But there's a way to go about it, and in order to give them that respect, but also still keep your respect as a parent. And I'm like I said, I don't have any kids right now, so I'm just speaking on how I was parented.
Right. And for me, I think, because you guys did touch on a lot of great things, one of the things is discipline. Discipline is so different now than it is. And discipline changed even from me having Erika to having Kendall. It was a difference in discipline. You know, when Erika was young, she would act up in the store. I would get with her right in the store. With Kendall, I had to drag him into the bathroom.
Yeah.
And get with her.
And that
You know?
difference is a societal
It
thing
is a
now.
society. It is a
Because
societal
that's
thing.
so behind
It's
bars
not
now.
right. But it did not prevent me from whooping that butt.
Tail.
Just how I did it. Yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, and just and as an old school person, we may have went overboard on some whooping sometimes. you know?
Telephone cord.
Cords,
Whatever.
extension cords.
A lot of it was
irons.
out of
Abuse.
it was reaction.
Frustration,
It was
yeah.
out of frustration.
Yeah.
And we probably should have taken a step back and
cooled
thought
off.
about it. Right. But we were raised that way.
Right,
We looked
right.
when we were raised that way, so it seemed like it worked.
Because it's like, I'm good.
I'm fine.
You know, I'm
I
fine.
turned out good. I'm respectful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're right about that gap, because
Yes.
the baby is 5,
Right.
the 15-year-old.
Right.
So when she
Different.
does things and I speak to her on a different level, he's like,
You ain't
if
do
it
that
was
to
me,
Exactly.
I would have. I do that
All the
now.
time.
I'm like, wait, why is he still talking? Where's the slap across the face?
And then, granted, let me tell you guys, as a parent, at some point you get tired. You
Yeah.
just don't feel like it. You know, you've already done that. You're like, look, whatever.
You see, I'm the last child, and I think that's what happened with
Yep.
my father and my mother. They got tired.
You just get tired.
They got tired. They ain't want to beat me no. They ain't want to beat no more.
It's too tiring. It was exhausting.
They got 4 boys.
That's what I was gonna
That's
say.
a
How
whole
many?
lot of
So
beating.
it's no girls.
No girls.
No girls.
Oh.
Yeah. But you know, my father was a Rolling Stone, so you
Yes,
know,
girls.
I got
But
somewhere else, got you.
we got girls around,
Mama
but
and daddy.
Right.
mommy and daddy, yeah, grow up now. It was 4 boys.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she got tired.
Yeah.
She was tired. She was
I
tired.
don't like to be beat. So I think, honestly, I probably got hit one time.
Right.
And I was a little older.
Right.
And I called my sister out her name.
Right.
And my mama like punched me in my face. And so I'm like, okay, I don't like that. So I know my daughter's the same way. Like, I don't like to be yelled at.
Right.
If you yell at
She
me,
shuts down.
I'm shutting down.
Yeah.
Like, you're not getting nothing out of me. So my daughter is exactly the same way. So you have to talk to her.
Right.
You cannot yell at her. You can't beat her.
That's a good
Sorry.
point.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like I said, you said this before. Just you can't parent.
No, the same.
same
You got
with
to
each
know
child.
the kid.
Yeah.
That's just like managing at a company. You got to know your employees. You got to know that this one responds better this way. This one responds better that way.
Right.
Same thing with parenting with kids. We couldn't do Erika and Kendall the same way. They're two different children. They react totally different
ways.
You know, it's just different. When Erika was younger, she did not care. Like, you could yell at her and whatever. She would just look at you. She was really stubborn. You know what I mean? Kendall won't. Kendall, he can't handle that. You know what I mean? So we had to recognize that and, you know, do it differently.
Yeah.
So that's why you're so hard. Okay, I
It
got you.
really is.
But now when people yell at me, I'm just
Now
like,
she breaks all the pieces. I'm like, dude.
because it's probably
too late.
after effect.
Too late for that.
Where was this interview before?
We used to call her, we used to say she had two personalities. We would call one Erika, that was the regular one.
This is out
And
here.
then the crazy one was Ricky.
Ricky.
Oh my God.
Where did the name Ricky come from?
Erika. Some people call
Yeah.
because you know Erics are called Ricky. That's the
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
I learned something new today.
Yeah.
So,
That's so funny.
Yeah. So those are all good points.
Yeah.
Very good points. So what about this? What about some of the things that you do that your parents did, but you said, I would never do that.
Never.
But you find yourself
Never.
doing exactly
do it.
that.
Yeah.
What, you go first.
So it's coming in the house, yelling at the kids, you know, about the house being messy, and also I said I'm never gonna forget what it was to be a kid, and I'm never gonna charge my kids nothing for no bills or nothing. I'm not doing none of that. And guess what? Food is expensive. Light bill is expensive. Y'all want to be using the AC and running the water and playing the video games. And I say that and I'm like, I sound like my mom.
Yes.
I was like, I said I would never do this. But this stuff is kind of expensive.
And you want to teach them. You want to teach them
Responsibility,
that you got to pay where you stay. I don't care where you go. You got to pay where you stay.
I used to be so annoyed.
I know.
Like, why can't you leave me alone?
Right.
I just want to play my video game, Mom. Mom, I just want to play Street Fighter. What is this doing to you? Nothing. Why can't you leave me?
And now you're that person.
Turn off the game.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, oh, man, I can't believe I did that.
I know.
I cannot believe. Because when you give them an inch, they literally
take a
take a mile. You know, some people take a yard, and I'll be like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
But they take a mile. You know, my living room, I had to kick everybody out of my living room. So now everybody is confined to one space in the house. My house is 27 square, has 100 square feet. They only could go to 100 square feet. Seriously,
5-year-old, because she's the boss.
I kicked everybody out the house. I kicked everybody out the house. I repainted my living room. I cleaned the carpet.
Right.
I shut it down. I put yellow tape over it. Nobody can go in there. Everybody stays in your room. I don't even go in their room. So if the room looks like crap, I would not know.
Right.
Because I can't handle it.
Right.
And I'm like, man, my mama used to be just like that.
I know.
I said I wasn't going to do it.
I know.
I didn't say I wasn't going to do it, but I understand now why my mama did it.
Right.
But I guess for me, my grandmother, I hated getting up and going to church on Sundays. And I'm like, I'm never doing this.
Right.
But now that I'm a parent,
Right.
I understand the
Poor
importance
teens. That's good.
of bringing them up.
That is good.
That's good.
Not necessarily in religion.
Right.
Because I don't agree with religion.
Okay.
But I do want them to know who God is,
Yep.
who Jesus is, and I want them to have an anchor to something. Because a lot of these children, they don't have an anchor to anything, and so they don't fear anything, and so they will do anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
And
some
I don't
good
want my
teaching.
children like
Very
that. So I
good
think
point.
that was the only thing growing up where I was just like,
Right.
I would go to sleep in church. My grandma would be upset. I'm like, it's boring. I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
But honestly, this new generation of church goers is different.
Yeah,
I really enjoy myself
Way
when I go to church.
It is
I'm always
different.
leaving with something, and the kids are too, and that's the important thing.
Yeah. That's
Finding the right
good.
church. That is a very good, very good point.
That is good.
That is a very
What
good
about
point.
you?
Well, one thing back on what she said is the difference too, I think, with old school and new school is that what we do as parents now is we try to find a church that fits us and the kids.
Yes.
But back in the day, it wasn't about
That's
the
wherever
kids.
grandma was
You just came
going.
to
That's
church.
grandma's
That's
home
right.
church.
That's
and
right.
we've been going there for generations.
Yep.
And you
Yep.
going.
Yep.
Singing
That's
them 1918 hymns on the old
Nigga
rugged
spiritual.
cross.
Like
Like,
spiritual.
bruh, please.
Yeah, you be depressed and you leave.
I just
Stress
wasted
out.
all
I
this time
know.
here. My Sunday's gone. I can't do
Sunday's
anything.
gone.
I know.
4 hours. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Ooh.
4 hours.
Now
man.
church be a
Wonderful.
club. Now
Church
church,
was
be
all
like, what
day.
club is this? You know?
Exactly.
What club is this, yo?
Exactly. And you'll see anybody. You get to meet a whole bunch of people. It
Yeah,
wasn't,
I love
it's a lot
it,
bigger,
yeah.
These mega churches especially.
Yeah.
But I guess one of the things, and it wasn't anything specific, but one of the things for me is the sayings that my grandmother would say. 'Cause I was raised by my grandmother as well. You know, like get your butt over here, or what is it that I tell you?
You
all
want me
the
to smack
time?
you back into
Like,
Tuesday?
Yep, like just the different sayings. I was like, I would never say that.
And now you say it.
I say every last one of them. I don't think it's one I missed.
Knock your head off your shoulders.
Exactly.
I guess it'd be
Beat
so
you to the white
fitting.
meat.
And it comes before I even realize it. Like I don't even think about it. It just
Yeah.
falls out my mouth, and then afterwards I'll be like, God,
Yeah.
that was grandma.
You see how these things are passed down to us.
It is.
You see that?
Without
Soak it
even
up.
And without,
realizing it.
yeah. So
It's
that's
unintentional.
Big. Yeah.
Right.
That's
Mhm.
big. That's why.
And a lot of the
breaking
times we
that.
don't know.
Right.
You know?
And that's why it's so hard to break.
Yep. You have to.
Because you don't think it's a
consciously-
generational curse.
Right.
Because the whole family, we all do that.
Do it.
Right.
So
So
what's
I
wrong
don't mean
with
that it's okay.
But
That's right.
you can talk about it and then realize it.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
why we have these conversations.
So
Yeah.
what about you? Oh yeah. Sorry.
No, I mean, one thing I probably would say, which I don't see will be true, but I say I will never argue in front of the kids.
That's
Argue
good.
with who?
My spouse.
Yeah,
That's
luck-
good.
Good luck with that.
I know. I'm gonna try
That's good.
really hard.
That's good. You should try.
No, that's good. That's really good.
that's
Yeah,
good.
But
that's
I
good.
said that to my dad the other day, and he was like, "That's good, but also." It'll teach them conflict
Right.
resolution. Like,
Right.
not necessarily argue, but maybe, like, discuss. Like, we might
Right.
reach a peak, and then we're like, whoa, we're in front of the kids,
Right.
let's bring it down. My
But
whole
they
thought,
need to see you
yeah,
get through it.
my
Yeah.
thought was like, okay, we'll talk about this later,
Right.
alone.
Mm.
Like,
No, he's right, because they need to see, because the real world, they're gonna go
They're gonna
into
go through
arguments,
something and they don't have
need
the
to see it.
skills.
Right.
yeah,
Mhm.
Right.
yeah.
And you don't want them thinking everything is rosy and
Right.
great
That's
all the
true.
time, because they'll be in for a shock.
So I guess the same way that the fight was public, the apology should be public too.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
You should be hugging
Yeah.
and kissing in
Yeah.
front of each other
Yeah.
and saying, all
That's
right,
absolutely
Yeah.
true.
That's true.
we good. We just, we was just going.
We had
Yeah.
a moment.
We had a moment.
Yeah.
We good.
Right.
That don't mean we ain't gonna be together.
Exactly.
It's just a fight.
That's important.
It is.
My pastor calls it intense moments of fellowship because
Nice.
those
I like
moments are
that.
important.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
write that down.
That is important.
I'm gonna
though.
write that
It's
down.
like, that's where it goes back to communication.
Yeah.
Conflict resolution is so lost. Like,
Yeah.
people don't know how to do it at a regular tone.
Right.
Or I'm reading a communication book, and the listeners will know I love talking about communication. But there's two negatives to it. We think that they're okay, like yelling and arguing and trying to get your point across. No, that's bad. Or just walking away. That's maybe even
that's
worse.
worse.
Yeah. So really seeing that
Yeah.
and how you could take that to the workplace with friends
Right.
and other
In
relationships.
all relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
It
even
starts
with
in the
us,
home.
like, if I know I want to say something to him, but I don't want him to feel like I'm coming at him.
Right.
So I'll be like, babe, okay, this is a teaching moment.
Right.
So when I say that first, he knows, like, I'm
Right.
going to say what I'm going to say.
Right.
Just give me a second and listen to what I have to say
Right.
and think about it. I don't want
Yeah.
you to react.
Right.
So this is a teaching moment, and I'm going to lay it out there. And
Right.
then before you jump down my throat,
Right. That's
just
good.
just pay
Yeah.
attention and try to understand what I'm coming
Yeah.
from.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
That's good.
That is good.
That is good. Even for kids, to say that to kids too
Yeah, true.
is good, because kids get offended easily, and then they become very defensive
Yeah.
a lot of times, and then a lot has to do with how we say it.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
So-
for sure. You coming at me like
Right.
yelling, like, why you didn't clean your room?
It's all about emotion. Everything.
Yeah.
that,
Everything is emotionally
based, and that is not right always.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So, what are some things that your parents did that you refuse to do and that you have not been
done,
doing?
that you made a point not to.
Yeah.
do.
That's a few things for me. One of the major things is not having children outside of marriage.
Okay.
I'm just saying for me personally, because I see the damage that takes place.
Yep.
You know, somebody's always lacking something.
Yep.
You know.
Very good.
And then another thing for me is when I grew up, my father was a great provider, but that's it.
Yes.
He was excellent at providing.
He wasn't really present.
But that's it. So when I landed into my own family, that's how I felt. I felt like I woke up one day, I was like, who are all these people around me? I got a baby? What?
Landed. Wow.
Yo, what happened? I was just a rolling stone.
Oh my God.
Now,
Fushsia, for real, how do you do it?
no, this is really what went through my head. I was like, I was just living life, chilling. And now I got a whole family. Literally, this is how it felt, because my father never imparted wisdom into me to be able to understand, like you said, to handle conflict resolution, how to express myself, you know, how to be a good husband. Because being a good provider is not being a good husband.
Yeah.
A provider's a provider.
Yes.
And if you,
But being sorry.
no, I'm cutting you off. Sorry.
But being a good husband is being loving, understanding, you know, compassionate, and one of the major words is empathetic.
Yes. Yes.
That is being a good husband.
Yes.
When you can put yourself in your significant other's position and say, okay, you know. But that happened through fire. It was forged through fire with me and her. All of our growth took place with fire because I didn't have somebody to beat that into my head when I was younger.
Right.
You know, so she went through a tough time in her life, and I responded in the worst way possible, and she felt like I would if she was on her deathbed, I'll leave her.
Right.
You know, because my father never taught me empathy.
Exactly.
You know,
Didn't know.
I did not know. So one of the things that I refuse to do is to just let my money be present and not me.
That's
You know,
so good.
I think they need me more.
Yeah, for sure. That is
True.
so good.
That is so good. I commend you for that.
Yes,
I commend
that
you
is
for
amazing.
that.
I mean, and if I was lying,
And this
You'll
is why
see
I
it.
can deal with him.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
That was a great.
We had these moments. I'm like, okay, that's why I like you.
she like my crazy. Don't let me tell her when we first met.
And let me tell you how important and how rare it is for someone who didn't have certain things like empathy and things like that. How rare it is for them to recognize it and then do something about it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You get people that recognize it but still don't do anything.
Or they
about
feel
it.
like they can't, or they feel like they're stuck in that curse and that.
So Duane, I really feel like you are a true generational curse breaker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Because
that's why I wear
Actively
that.
working every day.
Yes.
That is, and that's
Yes.
key. That's you
Actively working.
Yes, you hit that hard. You
Yep.
should like. That's what people don't realize. It takes work.
It's not like
hard work and effort to
not
break
like
that.
that.
Like
Yep.
it doesn't come overnight. It doesn't come over a year.
Nope.
It comes over so many years and so much time. But
Yeah,
you have
patience.
to actively be doing
Every
it.
day, take a step towards that. Every
Yeah,
single day.
and it's good that you guys have each other who are in that same mindset to understand that okay, I have to be actively working at
Yeah.
this, but you all understand it and y'all are doing it together. So
Yep.
that's
Great.
major.
it's the thing. Is like your deliverance. It has to be maintained.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
once you gain an understanding of it, you gotta maintain it on a
Yeah.
daily basis
Yes.
because the thoughts are gonna
Uh-huh.
because you're gonna want to revert back to
Yeah.
what's comfortable
Right.
and what's normal for
Yeah.
you. But then you gotta fight those particular
Yeah.
thoughts, and it doesn't mean that it's gonna go away.
Right.
But the fact that you continue to be conscious about making an effort, you breaking the curse already.
are.
So if you made a conscious effort to make a decision not to do something one day,
Yep.
trust me,
You
you are already
Yep.
breaking that curse.
Exactly.
So
That's
think better about yourself
That's true.
Yeah.
than you do
Very
already.
good point.
Good.
Very
That's
good point.
good. Oh. Hand clap for that.
Hand clap.
This is the most hand claps we had on this.
Oh God,
Oh, this is great.
you guys are funny.
What about you, Ma? I don't.
Their parents did that.
That you refused to do, or you haven't done, or you said.
Well, I think mine is more so what they didn't do.
That's mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, no.
that I'm gonna do, and
Okay.
it basically touches on what Duane said earlier, and it's about finances, learning. You know, great to learn about going to church. It's great to learn about how to behave in public. It's great. These are all the things that are great. But I need to know how to survive. You know what I mean? I need to know how to survive, not just cooking and cleaning. You know, they, what was big was cooking too. That was another thing. You know, they taught you how to cook, but it was because that was the only way you was going to learn. They had to pass it down.
Yes.
So when we got to Erika always wanted me to teach her how to cook, but I'm like, at this point, she could go online. You know what I mean? And she had no interest. And, you know, she could go online. If she get hungry enough, she going to cook. That's what I would, say. So that's a little different. We don't have to do that. But for finances and things on how to survive in this world, I made an effort. We're going to teach these kids how to do that. We're going to. You know, we have to. Because no one else is going to teach it. They don't teach it in school. Nope. You know, they don't teach it anywhere else. How else they going to learn? I learned the hard way. Through bankruptcy, through bad credit, through all that stuff.
And you want to protect your kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'll touch back. I mean, I'm going to take it to race. I'm going to take it there. But we're not too far from slavery, period. So, how they
not
were
at all.
like, they're just your parents, especially your... Because your grandmother, so that was really close to slavery still. Right. So they're just trying to survive with as far as eating.
The basics.
Yeah, the basics. And then at this point, we're trying to keep up with the world. Like this new generation, like we're trying to be better.
We trying to,
and we're trying to get those skills in place.
Right.
But y'all didn't have that. Y'all, y'all were just... Or your grandmother was just getting into the workforce and learning that.
And the stuff she taught me was great for her. And don't get me wrong, our parents did the best they could do with what they had. No doubt about that.
The best.
And I felt like she was, my grandmother, my father, all of them were the greatest. And I was raised a lot better than a lot of my friends. You know what I mean? So I know that they gave me the best, but it's so much more now. You know what I mean?
Now.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's the important part with, I feel, parenting. You can't parent your kids like you can't parent the same two kids the same. You can't parent
the generations.
The two generations
change with it.
You have to. Like, this is how my parents were.
Doesn't work.
Some
things, like with morality.
Doing the right thing.
And I think that was the issue for like the generation before me. My grandparents try to raise their children that they were raised.
Right.
So like the generation before me is just
jacked up,
baby. And it's just like, and so like me and my cousins and stuff, and I just see how we are amongst each other, and I'm just like, like you said, like I'm lucky to be raised by who I was raised by, because I could have been like that. You know. And I think for me, like the question, I think one of the things that I don't want to say I refuse not to do, but what I have to do, because I didn't get it, is allow my children to follow their passions and follow their dreams. Not tell them that they can't do something. Because even till today, like I love music, I love to sing, right? But I've never taken it further. Because I remember when I wanted to sing, my mom told me I couldn't sing. Even with modeling, I feel like I could have been further with modeling, because I remember when I wanted to model, my mom was like, but you're going to get fat, or you're going to spray. And like, don't waste your time going to acting. But I wanted to model. So those things, even in my 30s, still, I hear them. And so those are things that I'm trying still to like, break free. No matter how much my husband says, you could do it. You sound great. Just do this. I still don't think I can.
The first voice.
That fear in me is just like,
it's a little louder.
I'll do it in the shower. I'll do karaoke. But I could have been. But that voice. So I don't ever want to be that voice for my children.
And you see, it's funny because that voice happened, and that voice was present for 30 years. And then when you finally get somebody to speak something different, now I'm going up against 30 years. You know what I'm saying?
And that's hard.
And it's like how that works. It's like the enemy. I say the enemy, which is the negativity. It's like, let's destroy her before she recognizes who she is. You know what I mean? Let's do that. And then mom not knowing that words either cast a spell or break a spell. She put a spell on her for a long time in her life.
Exactly.
And that's saying sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never
That's
hurt
the worst saying ever.
Put that in place to make it so that they can use the words.
Somebody that was terrible made that up.
What?
You know what I mean? Somebody that said some
words
terrible
are horrible.
Words are.
And when he says stuff that my daughter doesn't like, she's 5. She goes, you don't talk to your only daughter like that.
Oh, she's a trip.
It bothers her. Like, I remember one time I was
Wow.
trying clothes on her, and like, I'm like, baby, you getting fat. These clothes don't fit. My daughter did not talk to me for 2 days. And everybody she did speak to, she said, my mommy told me I was getting fat, but I'm not getting fat. I'm getting bigger.
See, that's the difference between the kids now and the kids then. We would never say that.
Yeah.
We would never say that.
You're right.
We would internalize it.
We would internalize it.
it.
And have to deal with it as adults.
Because we didn't feel like we could
Yes.
express ourselves. Because I feel like as adults, I feel like you may have said this episode, kids aren't supposed to have feelings, or that's what they made it seem like. Kids aren't supposed to get sad.
They should
or
just do what
they should just do
what they told them to do and things like that.
Because life is so easy.
Yes.
Right? But when we have an open door policy. So my son would come in the room and he's like, Mom, I'm just feeling really heavy. I don't know what the feeling is, but can we talk? And he'll talk to us about it. And I didn't have that.
Right.
And there's a lot of people I grew up with didn't have that. And all they did was internalize it. And then never got help for it.
Right.
And then they grow up and they're still feeling that way. And no one knows.
Crazy.
Yep.
It's like suffering in silence.
That's crazy.
And you see, our adulthood is built in those early ages.
Yes.
So they say from age 1 to 5, I think 80% of who you are
Is who you're going
to be.
Yep.
And it's built in those times. And then we got the nerve to say, oh, it's just a child.
Exactly.
It's just a child.
That's the most crucial time.
At that point, they can learn any language.
Exactly.
They can learn. They can do anything they want to do at the time because they're just open.
They just
you know?
like sponges.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yet we choose to put them in a box and say, you know what?
They're not gonna
Since
remember this,
we put our fears on them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
That's
Our
true.
restraints and constraints and stuff
On them.
on them.
Yeah.
But it's all about learning and
is.
having these conversations. I go back to
These
that.
generation conversations.
Yes.
Yes.
You just would never know.
Yeah.
And us teaching the old school about it, and then even
Yes.
new school teaching new school about it, just all around the board.
And then people's experiences. I mean, you could have two new school people, two old school people, but their experiences
and their
just the
perspectives
discussions about it, makes a difference. So.
Yeah, it's important. The conversations are important
Very.
because you
Number
need
one.
to. I think, he does his motivational talk, right? But within my family, I do a lot of I fix relationships, whether it's man and woman or father and daughter or sister and brother. And one of the things in my family, when I really sat back and looked and I really was trying to figure out why is there so much turmoil, like what is the curse? And I realized no one speaks to each other. They
simple.
And it was as simple as that. So I just started calling grandma. Hey, grandma, and interviewed her. Interviewed my mom. I interviewed my dad. I interviewed my grandparents. And it was so much information that I know that my uncles who was there, and grandparents who were there, don't even know.
Yeah, we touched on that.
No one speaks to each other.
Yeah.
And if me and my mom, we had a bad relationship growing up, right? And then I had my children, and it got a little bit better, but there were things between us that kind of just I threw under the rug and went on. And when I actually had that conversation with her, without her having to say sorry for me, I understood.
It freed you.
I forgave, and our relationship is so much better now because now I understood how her life was growing up, what she went through, what tools she didn't have, why she couldn't pass it down to me, why she treated me the way she did. There's certain things she just she didn't have to give to me. And so then you become empathetic. Instead of saying, you did this to me, you treated me this way. She didn't know. And she did the best she could.
And that's the thing. So I always say, when you understand something, you don't need to forgive anybody. Where there's understanding, you don't need forgiveness. It's the same way that God treats us, right? That's why when we come to God and we repent, it's like, all right, it's done with. Because I understand how I made you, who you are, where you at. It's like a baby, a 3-year-old. If they mess up their cake, you don't need to forgive them for that.
They're 3. They don't
They're
know.
3. They're a kid. And that's deep though, because you gained an understanding for what happened with your mom, and you was like, oh, she's good.
Exactly.
She's good.
Let's just move on.
Yeah.
She don't even know how to say sorry.
She good.
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
I get it.
And that helped you.
Yes. Because it was a burden for years.
Absolutely. It could have
Even with
the kids.
Exactly. Even the way I am with my oldest. It was a burden. And so I'm way different with the baby because that burden has been lifted. I'm free now.
So true. Woo, that's powerful.
That is.
We in church right now. I'm catching the Holy Spirit.
Yes. Y'all are getting free everything.
It's a free game right now.
Not even game, like just everything.
Right.
Life
Got the
is a whole
goosebumps a
counselor
couple
session.
times.
Yeah.
No, that's really
Word.
good.
Exactly.
Really good.
Yep.
I think we touched on the differences.
Little
in
bit, yeah.
discipline.
Right.
So what is your biggest fear that you all have as a parent for your children?
Oh, mine's is real simple. It's just I don't want to have a child too
Teen
early.
pregnancy.
A teen
Okay.
pregnancy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it's not really much to be said about that, but that's a fear of mine.
Right.
Just because, not for my kid, but I don't want to be no grandparent having to be worrying about no little baby. I'm trying to live my best life.
Child, when they get out of here, we living our best
I'm trying to
no baby.
trying to fly. You know, I don't want to be carrying
Or
no
at least
grandbabies.
If they're married and you know,
Take them on the
then-
weekend.
Yeah, take them on the weekend.
1
That's
week
good
in a month,
thing.
because
Right.
the rest we gonna be traveling.
Yes.
But
that's
teen
true.
pregnancy,
Yes.
Biggest fear.
no,
Yes.
please no,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
No.
Yes. That's
fair.
That is
Please
fair.
no, please. And no shade. I'm not throwing no shade
I was
to you.
a teen parent.
I ain't throwing no shade, but we rebuke that generational curse
I
in the
agree.
name of
I
Jesus.
agree, and I tell my kids that all the time. Like, you become a teen parent if you want to. Your life is stopped for
Right.
10 years.
For 10 years,
Right.
at least.
And even my niece, she had a pregnancy scare, and I was like, girl, let me
Right.
tell you. I said, look at your mama, look at me, look at your aunties, look at your uncles. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are now living
Right.
because we had you guys so young,
Right.
and everything we wanted to do had to be revolved around
Yep.
you guys, even down to the jobs we wanted to take, the classes, school, whatever it is.
Everything.
I said, girl, look at your auntie. I'm
Yep.
now traveling.
Yep.
I'm now living my best life,
Yep.
buying what I want.
Cause she met me,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know.
that's right, Duane, that's
you
right.
know, she met me, you know, upgraded it a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
We'll let you have it for that good comment.
Oh, okay, cool. See, fellas, I know how to win them over, man. I'm telling you.
So yeah, I had to let them know, like, and I'm a straight shooter when it comes to my family, the way I speak to them. And Wayne always just like, you can't talk to everybody like that.
Right.
Well, in this household,
Right.
I'm not sugarcoat nothing. And I mean, but everyone that talks to me know, if I go and I talk to her, I want advice, she's gonna give it to me.
And they
real
to get it
and raw.
Don't
so if
ask
you want the
if they-
fluff,
right?
Right.
go
Don't
somewhere
ask,
else.
right?
You know,
Right.
But yeah, I even tell my son all the time, like, look, I'm in my 30s. You know, I had my son at 18.
Right.
I said, you remember how we used to live? And look how we living now. Had I waited, you could have been living like
Right,
this.
right,
You know, he grew
right.
up with me,
Right.
you know? So I'm like, and so he has a different appreciation
Yeah.
as
True.
well. My
Yes.
daughter is spoiled.
Yes.
She's a princess.
Yes.
But he remembers where we came from.
Right.
And where we are today. And,
Yep.
you know, so I'm like, don't
Yeah,
do
he's
it.
solid.
That's
He's a
right.
solid.
Don't,
He's solid.
don't you
That's
do
right.
it.
That's
Just
right.
listen to your mama.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's funny because for me, one of the biggest fears I have, it's different for each child. So for Kendall, it's going to jail.
Okay.
It's anything to do with the
With the
cops.
boys. I said that yesterday.
You know what I mean? That's
And that's
my
something we
biggest
can't
fear.
control.
That's something we can't control. And I feel like I harass him. I feel like I harass
You
him
do.
about doing the right thing, staying
Yeah.
a straight shooter. You know what I mean? And even that, even if he's like
not
that won't.
guaranteed.
It's no guarantee.
True. True.
But I don't want him to give them any
Reason.
reason. You know what I mean?
Because they don't need a reason.
No, and I mean when I say this stuff keeps me up at night,
Oh wow.
I'm thinking about it. Like imagining Kendall in jail. You know what
gotta
I mean?
stop doing that.
I gotta stop doing that.
Yeah.
It's something, and I pray about it, and I just gotta keep praying about it.
It's hard.
Because it's really getting the best of me.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
as
what
he
we
gets
see.
older, yeah,
Yeah.
it's what we see. As he gets older,
That's why.
and I think about it, and just the world, the way
Yeah.
it is. That's my biggest fear. So that's my biggest fear for him. Now for Erika, I think my biggest fear for her is something that has to do with disappointment, whether it's in her career, with her significant other, just her feelings. You know
don't
what I
want
mean?
her feelings
Being
to
hurt.
hurt.
We've been there before.
I know, but it's still
You her baby.
It's still, right,
I know.
It's still pain out
Yeah.
there. It's still so much
Oh,
pain.
I know.
You know what I mean? And like, you know, maybe like her putting her, because I know Erika, and I know whatever she does, she's going to give it her all. So if she gives it her all, and then something disappoints her, it's going to, you know, really hurt. And you know, you don't want to see any of your kids hurt.
Yeah.
But like I said, that's my fear for her.
But they
It's
grow
different.
through that.
They do grow through that, and she's grown through hurt.
That's what I'm
She
saying.
hasn't
We've
been
been-
hurt, and I said you haven't. I mean, she has been hurt.
Like,
She
wait,
like,
I
"Mom,
haven't?"
And has
You wasn't there.
right? And has become a better person as a result. But
Yeah.
you
True.
hate, as a parent, I don't care how many times
You want to protect them.
you hate to see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and I get that, and I respect that, and you know, I appreciate that. But even when I do go through like stuff like that, I don't want to talk to you.
No.
Like, because
Because
I
she
know.
knows, you know how she
Yeah,
feels.
I
But
know.
that makes me worried too because
Well,
I know she acts like I don't know when she's going through.
You know, you can
I
feel
know,
it.
Of course
Yeah.
I know.
Right. But I want to get through it.
And
Like, I don't want to be like, oh, let me help,
No.
get my mom to help me through it.
No,
No,
and I
like,
get it. And you see, I be leaving her alone.
I be trying. Like she like, I be trying. I be
And
trying.
you know, I come back.
Yeah, she usually come back, but I
Yeah.
just let her be, and I'll go in her room and I'll be like, if you want to talk about anything,
Mommy, come on.
just let me know. Give me a kiss.
Ah!
And she in that room like, what's going on?
Hey, I'm about to go kill him.
Just tell me who it is, God. I'm going to go fix him.
I'll be like, bless her, Lord, and keep Kendall out of jail.
No, but you know it's funny, right? Because fathers, we don't have a issue with holding on. Like we do not. Because even when we let go of the seed, we let it go and we go to work. We go about our business. Y'all walk around with it for 9 months.
Yeah,
So
but it's a different level.
I literally I cannot sit here and say I understand,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And say, oh, you don't need to do that because I
Right.
don't understand. I can't
Right.
say that. But what I can say is that the best thing that happened for me is when my mom's let go. The moment she let go, I had to learn how to fend.
Right.
And
Yep.
as a parent for me, I always want to train my child to be able to live without me.
Right.
Yes.
Reason being
Right.
is because I ain't gonna be here for
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Absolutely.
and I'm telling you, I was spoiled growing up and coddled. The moment I got by myself, I didn't know how to pay my bills. I didn't know how to.
I would call his mom. And be
Yo,
like,
yo,
"This is
chill.
your fault.
This
This is your fault.
Let me talk bad about
Every
myself.
single time, I'm like, I'm calling your
Yo,
mom.
listen to
This
me.
is her fault.
Erika, I didn't know how to do nothing because my mama, she was like, oh, I don't want my baby going through nothing. You know, that's my baby. That's my last one. You ain't got to work. Just go to school. No, I should have worked and go to school. I should have worked and went to school. I should have grinded for something because when I got my own joint, I didn't know how to do it. I got depressed. I started drinking too much. I wanted to get myself out of the situation. Where's my mom? Come save me.
Right.
But you know, when we think about eagles, what they do, they fly high and they drop them. But they fly along, and if they about to fall, they catch them. But they let them go through.
That's right.
They let the
Preach on it.
Oh,
they let their
I need to talk to your mom. That's what I need to talk to find out what did she finally do.
Me?
What?
Was it you?
Yes. Because every time it's like, your mama knows she not. You gonna do it. And I would call her, don't pick up the phone. Don't send him this.
Yeah, true.
Don't
Because
do this.
you're right.
Don't do that.
When we had Lynette,
No.
I would always be like, hey ma, yo, you know what I'm
No,
saying?
and I
Like
used to argue
this
with
is how I
his
used to talk. You know, I thought I was some type of fly guy. I used to be like, yo ma, what up, man? Like, yo, listen, man, I'm trying to go chill. Just take Lynette. I mean, Fuchsia want me to watch it, but yo, listen, just watch it for me. I'm gonna be out. Blah, blah, blah. Fuchsia like, no, that's your daughter.
Right.
If I didn't say
And her and my
nothing.
mom start ganging up on me.
So, okay,
Force me
here's
to
a
grow up.
question. Do you feel like doing that, you were kind of parenting him?
Yes, and he felt it, and that was an issue with us.
Right.
But I'm the type of person, if I feel I'm right, I'm not letting up.
Right.
She wanted the best for me though.
Right.
Yeah, I wanted, and
it was
I
out of
saw
love.
his
Yeah, it was out of
potential.
love.
I knew from the moment I met him what he can do, right? But it was just like, yo, mama.
Right.
And don't get it wrong, I love his move. Oh my god,
Right.
that's the best woman
I know it because
on the
in order
planet.
for you to be able to talk to her like that, you have to love her.
I
Exactly.
love her.
Exactly.
She's the
Yeah.
best. Like anything, if we ever need anything, we
You know
can
she
call
can,
her,
right?
right?
Or if you ever needed anything. you know her.
Yeah, on my own.
Right.
Like, she's amazing, right?
Right.
But I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to live here with your mama.
Right.
Like, I need to know that when it's me and you, it's me and you, and
Yeah.
you're not always gonna run to your
Right.
mother.
And one of the hardest things, when I met my pastor at 30 years old, and he started to teach me how to be a man. Hardest thing he said, listen, when two people come together, you gotta move away from your mom.
Leave and cleave. That's what it
I was
is.
like, what?
Yep.
I was like,
I'm not doing that.
I was like, how am I supposed to do that? So I talked to her about everything.
Yep.
He's like,
But you told me that the other day.
Because that's
we
what
had
I
this
learned.
conversation. He was saying about me and my mom, and like, I mean, when I get to that point,
Right.
yeah, calm down. Don't put me in the middle of this. That's supposed to be private. Erika, that's a private conversation.
real.
Now mom gonna be like,
She looked at him
you
like,
took my baby from me?
No, and you know, and I think a lot of moms recognize it. We do. We recognize it, and we want somebody to do what she did.
and that's what you keep
It's
saying
just
about
hard.
Kendall. She was like, I wouldn't be mad if Kendall got a girl.
I said that. I said I think Kendall getting a good quality girl will help me.
Well, and I'll say, but my last relationship, like, I kind of was.
It made me very happy.
Well,
her last relationship.
Yeah, but because even not like on my part, like the position he played for me, but even his mom, like I still talk to her to this day because I was that role for him. Like I was like same way you doing for Duane. Like that was
just. She was in college. She was away. She had a boyfriend, so I knew she wasn't dating, like going
random
people. And he was, he was a good dude, and he, I knew he would protect her. So that lifted some off of me. I was like, if I could just get Kendall somebody, Lord, she's just
who would even tell him not to do dumb stuff,
and I could just call her and be like, look, LaQuisha, listen.
You know we love us a little ghetto chick. You know that. We love a ghetto chick.
She'll get with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Drape him up to it. Don't matter if she 5 feet.
Right.
Yo, Heather, let's go.
Yeah, I don't need a Heather because she's not going. She's going to do. What
she's gonna do.
Yeah, I need a LaQuisha.
Well, is that what you want to do? Okay, we'll do it.
I tell your mom you didn't do it.
Right.
No, me, I went. Baby, I got his mama number. Let me tell you what your son did. Come get him. She be like, Fushsia, please don't touch my son. Just don't touch my son. Please don't hit him. Please. I'm coming. Because she know. Because, I mean, my dad and his mom raised me. Mm-hmm. So, my thoughts on a lot of things.
My dad and his mom raised me too.
And so, like, and my dad had 5 brothers.
Oh,
so it was him, the 5 brothers, and then I had my godfather.
Right.
So a lot of the way, a lot of men. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of aggressive in some of the ways. So even dealing with him, I'm like, no, because my dad was like, hello, let's go. Mm-hmm. We had things to do.
See, that's another difference. I was talking to them earlier. That difference, they have such big differences, but that's what makes them work.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. But by the way, I'm a major mama's boy still to this day.
Yeah. So when I used to tell him he was a mama's boy, he denied.
Yeah. He took it the wrong way.
I'm not a mama's boy.
Well, you know what it is? You know what it is? No. Let's clear it up. I'm spoiled.
Right.
I'm not a mama's boy because my mother does not make the final decision.
Okay. She doesn't.
Okay. She does not.
He gonna do what he wants.
Yeah, and she doesn't intervene in my relationship.
That's good.
She does not at all.
Good.
Do you agree with that?
I agree. Yeah.
100%. At the end of the day, I do what I want.
Right.
I'm gonna come and seek counsel, but I'm gonna make the decision.
That's good.
So I'm spoiled.
Right.
I'm very spoiled.
But
a mama's boy,
right?
I'm not a mama's boy.
Got you. It is a difference.
Yeah.
It is a difference.
But I am spoiled.
That's good.
Good way to come back. He's getting better though. My goodness, it's been a journey.
Good.
I'm actually A plus right now.
Yeah,
I don't know what she's talking about. I'm getting better. I'm actually A plus.
He think he everywhere.
You can't just take the compliment.
No. I mean, you did it.
You take it to the next level.
You made me A plus, but I'm just saying I'm A plus.
Yeah, you're not a B minus.
I'm not a B minus. I'm an A plus.
Because then that means there's no room for growth.
There's no room for growth.
But you gotta fly high. You gotta stay there.
I'm next to the heavens. It's over.
Oh my Jesus.
Staying up top.
So there's room to fall and fail.
That's it. Yeah, but I'm A1 right now.
Oh Lord.
This is a completely different person today than what I met.
That's good.
That's good.
I was a what's the word that we spoke on? I was not a chauvinist, but I was a
narcissist.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, I definitely.
And I knew he was.
Right.
And I was not playing no games with him.
They say that 95% of narcissists
don't change.
Don't change.
I know.
He changed.
But I literally changed, and it was through encounters with God. That's it. Nothing else.
But see, I can't see you as not being empathetic.
Yeah, because usually narcissists aren't.
I know. I can't see that.
This is why she would never give me up, because she put a lot of work in.
Baby, when I first met him,
wow,
I could not be the person I am today with him. Then, because he would walk all over me.
Got you.
And then came back and walked all over me. Wow. He enjoyed that, and like when we first met, like I will never forget one time we went to church, and his ex-girlfriend walks in. God. And I did not know who she was, but I knew from her demeanor
it was somebody.
It was somebody, right? And I look, he playing the drums, and I look at him, so I text him, I said, what just happened?
Right.
And he said, nothing happened. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, I'm gonna figure it out.
Right.
I gonna find out, so I sat in the back of the church.
Right.
And I just watched.
Right.
And watched. And I didn't say nothing to him, and he was ready to go. They spoke. I didn't.
She missed the story. She said, "What did she just say?" She said, "My ex-girlfriend walked in."
Right.
No, his other
ex-girlfriend was there too.
Okay. I had an ex-girlfriend in the front row.
In the front, I sat in the back. Right.
And then one that sat right here. They didn't like each other. Mm-mm. And then she was the new one sitting right in the back.
So y'all weren't married, y'all.
No.
Okay.
We were dating.
Okay.
So I sat there. I said, okay.
So 3.
I'm watching. Then the 2 exes, they shared some words.
Leading the exes on.
They talking to him, whatever. I didn't move. We got in the car.
I said, I don't know what you think you doing.
Right. I know that's right.
Yo, she had me.
I was very calm though.
Right. That's the scary
I
part.
said, but what you gonna do? Is X, Y, and Z.
Right.
I was dealing
and
with
cut it
but
off.
I
I
was,
said, you leaving the door open, and I can
yeah,
see that.
that
Right.
door open. I had both of them
Right.
for a while.
Right.
And then when she came into the picture, you know, I still was flirting and
Right.
throwing stuff at them.
Yeah.
You know what I
Thinking
mean?
that, having them think it was a
Right.
chance.
Right.
And I
It was a
didn't
chance,
think
yeah.
that he was doing anything, like sleeping with them or
I
anything.
did-
But I
you
just
knew that door
I have
was
5
open.
uncles. You think
That's
I don't
right.
know?
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's the thing.
And it just felt good to have it open.
Right.
It's like, ooh,
It's security.
that
It's a
dude.
security
Yeah,
thing.
Just
Just
that
in case
dude.
this don't work,
Yeah.
I can still.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know what you think this is, buddy, but
Yeah.
you need to fix that.
That's right.
But she said it in a way better way. Like for me to understand.
Yeah.
Because as
Right.
a narcissist,
Right.
she can't just talk to me.
Right.
any
Crazy.
way.
Cut it off. It was
So
just-
she said it in a way, and I was like, yo, you're right. I
Right.
shouldn't do that to them.
Right. Right.
So
right.
then, what do I do?
Right. Right.
No, she was good.
I was,
Right.
cause I knew he
Came
wasn't dealing with
Okay.
them,
Right.
but
But
I
I
also
kept the door open.
like I said, I have 5 uncles. I've
Right.
seen it. I knew it immediately. That spirit was like, girl,
Yeah.
do you see what's going on?
Yeah.
So it was just easy for me to pinpoint exactly
Yep.
what he was saying to which one, because just from them, I'm like, these girls is in church arguing, and I'm
Right.
his girlfriend.
Exactly.
And then one of them have a boyfriend.
Yeah, and at the time,
my
one of them had a boyfriend, and they are beefing, and I'm
Right.
like,
Don't make no sense.
and then he walks right past them, babe, come on, let's go. And I'm like, y'all don't feel crazy? And I'm like, I don't know what you're doing to them, but you need to stop.
Yeah. So that was good. That was big of you.
Yeah. So I mean, speaking on this, like how y'all both evolved and become like
God.
one together. That's strong. Like parenting, you can't. I don't feel like you really can be a strong parent without the support of the other, or without a support of a
absolutely.
good
Wow.
relationship.
That's
That
on
is-
point.
that
I've
is-
done both.
That is
Yeah.
fire.
Exactly. So
Right.
you have it to compare it to.
Yep.
I've done
That
both.
is on
Yep.
point.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, there's so many fatherless homes out there, and I mean, motherless, possibly.
Motherless
yeah,
homes, too.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you just, I mean, I can only speak from my experience. Like, I mean, it makes a big difference, even though, you know, y'all might not always see eye to eye. I still know that you guys are both in the house, and I can go to have 2 different perspectives on life, and I can have that support.
Yeah, we bring different things. And it's
Yeah.
meant that way. That's how
Yeah.
God meant it. You bring different things to the kids. The kids need both.
Yes.
They
Need
need
To
both.
be fully
They need-
well-rounded.
yes. It's nothing I can do that Eric should do. You know what I mean? It's nothing I can substitute for Eric.
Yeah.
Nothing
And she
to
says
substitute for
it
me.
all the time. Like the way that I treat Lynette would teach her how a man is supposed to treat her.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and also the way that my son sees me treat
Yes.
his mom
Mhm.
teaches him.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's crazy how they have the same man, but they view
They're
him
learning
different.
different
They're learning.
things.
They're learning different things.
Absolutely.
And a lot of things in the household, people say, "Don't do as I do, do as I say."
Mhm.
A lot of the things in the household is caught,
Yeah.
not taught.
That's right. That's right.
You just go, you catch them.
And it's just, I mean, just even being around a man. If you have a man in the house as a girl, as a, you know, a child, and you have a man in the house, just seeing, even as a man, just seeing the stuff he does. You don't realize how much they pick up. Tying his tie, you know what I mean? Dressing a certain, carrying himself a certain way, things like that.
Yeah, my son, when I sneak in his DMs and I be looking, so when he be talking to these girls, he be like, "Good morning, queen," or "Hey, beautiful," and I'm like,
He knows.
"Oh, he got that from
He get that,
that."
yeah.
My 5-year-old now, she got a little boyfriend next door, and she's outside, and she was like, "I'm hungry," and so her grandmother, his mom, was like, "Oh, I got some snacks for you in the house." She said, "No, Bubba gonna get me something to eat," and Bubba went in the house and got her something to eat. I'm thirsty. Oh, you got no. Bubba gonna give you something to drink. And then
it's
she
gonna
go,
be hard.
yes.
It's
She
gonna
knocks
be
on
hard.
Bubba's door, and his dad answers, and she's like, "Can he come out to play?" And he's like, "Yeah, but he's doing something. Come in the house."
Right.
And she comes in the house, and she looks at Bubba, and she says, "So you're not gonna introduce me to your parents?" My name is Lynette Howard.
Oh, she's that
So
kid.
his father came over to the house like, "Where y'all get her from?" So my children, and I'm like, "She did that?"
Oh,
And
my
so I would have
goodness.
never thought
Right.
that she would be that way. But then I'm like, you know what? When I'm hungry, I'm calling
Same
dad. I'm
way.
like, "Hey, babe."
Yep.
you hungry?
She sees,
I'm
that's where
hungry.
she gets. That's where she gets it from.
Yeah, and that's
She's a
who
very
she is.
secure girl.
That's
She
good.
is.
That's
She
really
is.
secure in herself.
She know who
That's
she
great.
is.
Yep.
At
And the
5.
one thing I'm so
That's
happy I realized, because a lot of us as men, we deal with feeling unappreciated. Right? That's one of our main things. Oh, you don't appreciate me.
Yeah. Yep.
But the one thing I'm happy I realized is how important we are in the house.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I say that we're like the foundation. You know, the foundation you don't see it.
Right, but it's
Right,
there.
but-
And
You
if
don't
it
see
wasn't there, this whole thing
You
would
don't
fall
see it.
down.
You see all this beauty, right?
You don't even think about it.
Which is your children.
Yep.
You see all the beauty, but if a storm hit,
Yep.
something hit,
Mm-hmm.
the foundation got to stay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah, that's really good.
Foundation has an influence on
Everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Everything.
Yeah.
And that's why I told my boy that the other day. I'm like, listen, that's what it is.
Yep.
Your accolades are gonna come from someplace completely different.
Exactly.
Mhm.
It's
Don't
not. It
look
may not
for
come
'em.
from the
Right.
mouth of the,
Right.
you know, but it'll
And
come
you'll
from something.
notice
Good
it.
point.
And you'll be happy.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's a good
You'll be
point.
happy.
Because you'll know you did a good job.
Yep.
Because a man that takes care of his family is always blessed,
Yep.
and you always experience peace.
Yes.
Mm.
And you know how important peace is. As kids, you didn't realize how important.
Oh yeah.
You know,
if you would have
all
told
you-
me the one thing I want in life is peace,
Exactly.
I want some
You want
money.
money.
Luxury
A
food.
car.
No,
I want
peace.
some peace.
Peace.
And you don't like that energy coming in your house and disrupting
What?
it.
You
be like,
can feel it like,
You
Get
can
out.
feel it.
My house done
Exactly.
switched.
Yep.
whoever in here
Yep.
gotta go because
Yep.
this ain't working.
or y'all
I
better
gotta
get
bless
with
my
the
house.
program.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get on board because we do peace around here.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, we have 2 children, but we have 4.
Right.
And so that was one of the things that was
Came from
difficult
broken
Right.
homes.
for him, right?
Oh, right.
Because he wants his peace and he has his home structured a certain type of way.
Right.
And now we done brought in these 2 new kids
Right.
With
who
broken
came
homes.
broken homes, who
Don't know how to communicate.
don't know how to communicate,
Lazy.
you know,
Blah, blah, blah.
all this stuff. And but
Right.
see, I was that girl.
Right.
I was the girl who came from a broken home. I was the
Mhm.
girl who was always at my best friend's house because I didn't want to be home.
Mhm.
And so for me, I used to tell
And
him
who
all the
was
time.
I? I was the person that house they came to.
Right.
Yes.
So I said,
Right.
I'll never want that.
Right.
He didn't want it. And he told me that before we even bought a house, before we had
Right.
children. He didn't want that because the peace was disrupted in his
Mhm.
household.
As
He
a
didn't
child,
want
yeah.
that.
Yep.
And that's okay, I get it.
Right.
But then I see these 2 kids and I'm see me in them. And I'm like, I'd rather them be with me
Yep.
than be out on the street
Oh,
doing God knows what
goodness.
with God knows who.
Mhm.
I'm
And,
sorry.
and those kids are important for my growth too.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what I was gonna
absolutely.
say.
They absolutely
It's
are.
for a reason.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And it's bigger than you understand right,
Right.
And
now.
he feels every now and again when cause you know the
Have
9-year-old,
good days.
she's like, Dad, I just want to say thank you for
Aw.
this, that, and the third, you know, and I
Mhm.
appreciate you. And even the 16-year-old, when they have their moments,
Right.
you know, he understands.
Right.
Baby, he has his days.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And I get it because
But
it's
like
different.
you said, you're gonna be blessed. Just
Mhm.
like you said. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? You're gonna be blessed for it.
That's good.
Thank
That's
God.
good.
Mm.
So, would you all do anything differently if given another opportunity to be a parent?
I'll start.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I always say
I'm just getting started, so
Right.
I don't even know
I always say,
what I messed up
man,
on yet.
if I could get a 3rd chance, this kid would be amazing. Not that my kids are not amazing.
Whoa,
But I mean, not that you aren't amazing, because you are. But what I mean is that it would be so many different things. Like, you know, like I think that because of me, how Eric and I raised you, you know, that's what makes you, when people come to you, really aggressive. You shut down.
right.
They wouldn't have that. It would just be different things. I would
Yeah.
just do things.
You
totally
would
you know
fine,
better.
you would fine
I
tune
would
it.
fine tune
Yeah.
it. Another thing, like with Kendall, growing up, you know, Kendall is just that child is just fun. That's just what he was. He wanted
yeah.
fun, just fun. I said, if I had another child, we would have food fights. I wouldn't care if the house was messy. We would just clean it when it was done. You know what I mean? I wanted them to have fun.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Life is too short. And then you realize, you know, after you have kids, you realize they're not going to die. You're not going to die. You know what I mean? If this happens or this happens,
Right.
it's fine. It's
Yeah.
not that big of
Yeah.
a deal.
Yeah.
You know, but when you just having your first and your second kid,
Right.
you know, everything seems like a big deal. But even going from Erika to Kendall changed. You know what I mean? It wasn't with Erika. It was like, oh, you got to be dressed like this. You got to, you know,
Oh, man.
look like this and all that stuff. All that stuff started mattering less.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
So,
guess you got to go through that phase though.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
You always
The
become
first-
different with each.
I was about to say the first
Absolutely.
kid is just like
yes.
It's your first
Test
time
them.
being
the
a
guinea
parent.
pig.
It is.
You know,
It
we got it,
is.
and then we be looking at the rest of them like, you little
I
spoiled
know.
brat.
I know.
And as a child, it's important to understand. Like, I feel like you may have told me that somebody or my godmom, like, it's their first time being a parent. You know, it's our first time being a kid. I mean,
Right.
to them, but you have to understand your parent.
Right.
Like, not only just they're doing the best that they could with what they have, but it's their first time being a parent.
Yes.
don't know.
Yeah, and not even just being a parent, because they can have like 6 kids, but it's their first time being a parent to
To you.
So just understand, you know, that comes with time and growth. Like, I'm
Yeah.
realizing so much I'm not a child anymore, but so much as a child that I have learned, and that's instilled in me that I didn't realize, like you all said, and just playing on that and letting it allow me to grow, but not letting it hinder me.
Right.
So
Right.
I think for me, I think one of the regrets that I have is not appreciating the pregnancy process. I think for me as a man, like I said, I'll never know what it is to be pregnant.
Right.
You see other pregnant women, you see them doing this, that, and the third. Why you ain't getting up and doing that? Why you ain't doing this and doing that? Not knowing the effects that pregnancy have on your body. But that's one thing that I do regret, not respecting the pregnancy process.
Right. That's good.
I regret that.
That's good.
yeah,
I regret
that's
it.
good.
Yeah.
Because we had a really tough time
Right.
because of my immaturity.
Right. Right.
I did not
Right.
respect that process.
Right.
Like,
Thank
what do you
God for our
mean?
village.
What do you mean? You want me to
Right.
go pick up food where?
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that.
Right.
Thank God for our village.
Right. That's good. That's why everybody needs one.
Even appointments. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Doctor's appointments.
I think you went to 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Talking to Lynette while she in the belly. All of that. Nah,
Right.
You know.
You would do it differently.
I would do it completely.
But his mom did it all, right? So my daughter came out looking,
Like her. Oh yeah.
so she's named after her.
Good. Good.
His mom would buy me flowers, and she know I wasn't sugar.
Because she knew.
She would cook
She
for
knows.
me.
She been
She would do
there.
my laundry.
She done that. She knows that.
After I had the baby, I went through a little postpartum.
Right.
So she would force feed me.
Oh, she's
as
a
much as she
beautiful
could.
woman.
Like, take the baby at night, you know, when she was
That's
sleeping, because I was
big.
still in respiratory school.
Oh, wow.
When I had her.
Goodness.
Dang.
So that's why my daughter is always with her. Like
Right.
I always say, like I had her for you. 'Cause
Right.
She Duane was supposed to be the
That's
girl.
right.
And then you had no girl. Yeah.
Yeah, so I always say like I had her for you, and
Yeah.
I watched them together, and I think for her this is like her do over.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what they
Yes,
say,
it is.
grandparents.
Yes, it
do.
is.
This is
That's
her,
yeah.
this is her do over because she never had a little girl.
Yeah.
And so my daughter
Yes, it
and her are like
That's so
And that's the
good.
thing about parenting too. It takes a village, not just
It
two
does.
people
No.
or just a single
too much
parent.
for just
yeah,
two
like
people.
you need that
I lose my
support.
mind.
I know.
You need that support.
too.
I think the only thing I would change for me, I think I would love my son a little harder. I don't think I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
His dad didn't help.
You was trying to just
I
get
had him in December, went back to work in February.
right.
I didn't
Right.
get to bond with him.
Right.
One thing I always thank Duane for is allowing me to, I didn't have to work the first year I had Lynette.
Nice.
And I was able to bond with her.
Right.
So I
Good job. Yeah, no, good job. Good job doing that. That is very good. Very
Yeah, you
good.
represented today. Yeah,
It's
man.
gonna look at you like it's good, right, man?
That's what that dude Derek Jackson should have did.
Oh Lord, we're not even
Oh,
talking about him. That's a whole nother show. Leave that alone. So with her, you know, I'm more mushy with
Right.
her and everything like
Right.
that. I was never as affectionate with my son. My son is a very affectionate person.
Oh wow.
And even now, I struggle with it.
wow.
I don't know how to just.
Right. It's hard when you didn't do it initially.
Yeah, I just.
Do you feel like a guilt? Like
I feel guilty after the fact. So like in the moment, it creeps me
Right.
out.
Right.
Like in the moment when he want to come and kiss me and hug up on me, I'm like,
Right.
okay, is it over? Okay.
Oh.
And then after the fact, I'm like, damn, I should have
Right.
yeah.
been in,
I wish
I
it,
could
you know.
be, yeah.
But I'm working on it, and that's just because I didn't have that with my mom.
Right.
So I don't like.
Yeah.
Now meeting him and being in the presence of his mom and seeing how his mom was with her children, I can do that with my daughter. But for whatever reason, that there's a little blockage there when it comes to my son. But I've gotten way better than what I was when he met me.
Yeah.
Like, way better
That's
Yeah.
when it
good.
comes to my
That's
son.
good.
Keep
That's
working on it.
interesting.
Acknowledge it and keep working on
Yes.
it. That's all you can
Yes.
do.
Yep.
That's all
So
you
I
can
think
do.
y'all touched on it a lot, just about the blending of.
family.
Yeah, that was gonna
Mhm.
be an next, but y'all have really touched on that.
Right.
I
One
think-
thing I can say about the blended family though is that I'm very tactical. I'm very strategic
Mhm.
with how I do things. Really not emotional,
Okay.
and I guess that's what made me a pretty good narcissist. But
Mhm.
I'm really not emotional.
It's all a game.
Very tactical. I enjoy playing games. So from when CJ, which is our blended son, when he was 6 years old, I prepared myself for the moment he said, "You're not my dad." I
Ah.
prepared myself.
Because you knew it was coming.
Yeah, but the reason I prepared myself is because I knew that there was going to come a time when he said that, but that was going to be the moment I proved to him that I was his dad. It wasn't going to be the moment that made me
Right.
feel like I needed to run away and you don't
Right.
appreciate this.
Right.
No. I
Good.
understand.
Good.
I understand that each boy has a hole in his heart
For his
dad.
Yes,
you know, and I
absolutely.
understand that. And I'm just going to do the best that I could.
Mhm.
So when you say that, I'm going to show you how much of a father I am.
Right.
You can have something to hold it up against. You know, be like,
Exactly.
okay, he is my dad.
So he hasn't said it yet.
What?
Has he said it?
Oh, he said it.
Oh, he did?
Oh, yeah, he did. He said it.
Ooh.
He said it. and I handled his
Good.
ass. Excuse my language.
Good.
I handled him.
Good.
But I
Can't
handled
never
him
say
in
it
the
again.
best
Right.
way possible.
Right.
And he was like, yo, he talks about he loves me so much, and the type of discipline that I do is so great for him that he tells his friends about it. He'll be like, yo, do you remember when you dragged me down the steps? Do you remember that? Like, when you dragged me down the steps? Like, do you remember when you did that? Like, yo, it was crazy. I mean, I should never did that. Am I lying?
That's good.
Because here's the thing, even in my discipline, I'm teaching him how to be a man.
Absolutely.
So the only time I discipline him is when he disrespects a woman.
Right.
If he disrespects
Right.
his mom, my
Right.
mom, his sisters.
Right.
Oh, I turn into a bear.
Right.
That's the only time.
That's the only
Right.
time.
So he's like, I could respect my pops for that.
Absolutely.
You know,
don't
he's
just
not
go
just
off.
he's not just
Right.
going off. He loved me. That's why he's going
right.
off.
Oh, that's excellent.
And I was
That
very,
is-
very strategic and tactical because it comes to a point where there's nothing that a woman can do for a boy child anymore.
Nope.
All you can do is love him.
Nope. Yep.
You can't teach him nothing,
Nothing
else.
else.
Yeah.
You're going to try
Yep.
till you fail.
Yep.
You're going to try, keep going,
Yep.
keep going. And he's just going to be like, and then a dude going to come around and say something. You're going to be like, yo, mom,
Yep.
guess what?
Exactly. I said the same thing.
I've been saying that your whole life.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep. If they don't hear it from you.
It's important though for women when you meet a man and you already have a child, you have to allow that man to father your child.
And that's
A lot
hard for
of
a lot of
times,
women.
women hold on to their children,
Yeah.
especially their boy children,
Right.
and they don't allow that man
Yeah.
to have a place.
Yep.
And that's usually where the issue
Yep.
happens.
Yep.
When my son, I'm calling your father.
Yeah.
I ain't got nothing else to say to you.
That's right.
I realized when he got a certain age, it was nothing.
That you could do.
I'm gonna hurt myself
Yep.
trying to do
Yep.
something.
Yep.
So guess what? I'm calling dad.
Yep.
when I get on the
That's
phone
it.
with him, it's one
Exactly.
word. He like, all right.
Yep.
Me, I gotta holler, scream.
Scream.
Now I got a headache.
Exactly. You sweating.
Something like
it's a
that.
mess.
You
You
know?
looking at her like, what?
And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna call you father.
Yep.
I don't even have,
Yep.
and that's when when you're by yourself and you're single mom. You
That's
don't
what
have
you
that.
used to.
You
Right.
You
don't
gotta
have
be
that.
mommy
Right.
and dad.
You gotta be mommy and daddy. And I think that was another issue why I couldn't give him that
Right.
because I had to be.
Just
My whole
spoiled.
thing was like, he not gonna be spoiled. He needs discipline.
Right.
So I was always him.
Tough.
Always
Trying to
tough.
give him that
And I
tough.
was raised by men.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I was always, and I had
Right.
to.
Yeah.
And then he came around. He was like, "You need to relax."
Relax.
I got it from here.
Right.
Like,
I remember the first time I was
Right.
hanging out with her, right? And I heard the way that she was like barking on CJ. I said, I looked in the room. I said, I can't make you meet my mama like this. I really said, it's like, yo, you can't meet my mom like this. Your mouth is filthy. You talk to that little boy like that?
That's real. But
You know,
that's
it's
just part of
birthday.
the disconnect into like that affection you
That's
have
what
towards
she said,
him.
it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
But I was just always, I had to be that.
Yeah.
And then
Because you know
knowing
what
how
it
his
is?
dad turned
To
out,
be-
I didn't want him to be that way.
Right.
So I was going to do everything I
Yeah.
could to like, come
Yeah.
this way, don't go that
Yeah.
way.
And what it is to be a man, you have to discipline without men. We discipline without emotion.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
We
women, we
can't
just
do it.
over-
We
yeah, there's no
cannot.
You
possible
have to
way.
be mad. Y'all
Right.
have to be mad to
Before
this
we do anything.
We see a problem
And you just.
and we
Yep.
just do it.
Yep.
I remember one time CJ was around the dinner table and he was taking long to order his food.
Mm-hmm.
I said, yo, what are you doing? Order your food now.
Right.
His mother looked at me like, what's wrong with you, dude?
Right.
not that
It's in
serious.
right.
I stopped her. I said, baby, you guys love decisive men, but you don't know how to build.
Whoa.
And then
I said,
shut up.
she said, I said, you don't know what it takes to build one. So don't worry, I got you.
Ooh.
I wasn't mad when I said it to
Right.
her. And my son talks about that moment till this day.
Wow.
He sat around his brothers and he's like, hurry up and order your food, man.
That's real though.
This
That
is why his
is
brothers did
real.
it. Because, you know, it teaches us how to be decisive.
That's
You
a-
love when I
that's
go to
a small-
go to dinner and say, she
This is
wants
what I-
this, and
yes.
she wants that.
He
Yeah.
gets
This
it
is
right
what I
because if I
want.
order it's going to be
Right.
wrong.
Right.
How is CJ gonna get that?
Right.
You know, we have to.
Yep.
You know?
And see that's a great example, but that's such a small example.
So small.
Yeah,
It
it
is.
is.
But it's
And-
important.
but it's
Travels.
very important.
Yeah.
If you ask your brother too, like, you know, with sports and stuff, a lot of the times they take you to dinner
Right. Right.
because they want to see what type of person
Yep.
you are.
We do that even at work. Like when we're hiring somebody, sometimes we'll take them to dinner. We want to see how they sit around the table, how they order, if they're decisive when they make orders. You know what I mean?
I would
Yeah.
fail every
You
time.
know.
I don't think
like
y'all
that.
get judged that way.
No.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
not.
But
Unless
yeah,
you
we
go
do
for a
that.
CEO position.
Right.
We do.
Yeah,
We
something
do.
like that.
We do that. You
That's
know,
big.
if they double dip.
Ah!
That's the thing.
No, I don't know about that.
That's the thing.
I would scoop it off the bowl.
That
and
means
put it
you're
on my plate.
inconsiderate.
I got you.
I mean, I'm considering y'all, but not double dipping.
No, I'm saying if you
If
do
you
double
do,
dip.
I
If you
thought
double
you
dip.
That's
meant
true.
my
That's true.
bread.
That's pretty
Yeah.
disgusting.
Mm,
too.
No,
yeah,
I wouldn't hire you if you double dip.
Yeah, we had somebody double
Dang,
dip.
you would not hire.
Yeah.
Dang, knock you out of there.
Yep.
Yeah, you double dip.
You don't wash your hands when you leave the bathroom, huh?
I know, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like
All in it
You be
together.
touching
Yeah.
the copy machine with your nasty hands.
Exactly.
So this kind of just ties everything together. This one question:
Yes.
do you fault your parents on how the way they raised you, and can you find it in your heart to forgive them ever, or have you forgiven them? I know you
Oh, yeah, I
talked
did.
about your mom.
I did.
you really touched on that well. So
So the other day, I looked at my daughter because my daughter's in dance class. My son goes to a great school. And I looked at them and I was jealous. I was like, man,
Yes.
just if I had a little bit of this, I'd be okay. So one day my mom's came over and I was talking to her. I was like, yo, like, you know, we grew up in the hood. We didn't have any opportunities. We didn't have this. We didn't have that. And then she looked at me and she really couldn't understand what I was saying. She had no connection to it. Like, what do you mean?
Right.
Then she took me back to where she came from,
Oh. Oh.
in Jamaica.
Oh.
And she did wonders.
And then I see
See?
where I'm at, where she grew me up at. I said,
and that's what it is.
oh,
Better.
she put me in the best situation
right
ever.
for
have
that
done.
situation. for
Because
that
she
time.
grew up in the gutter in Jamaica
Yeah.
where their best piece of clothing was school clothes.
That's it.
Wow.
That's
Uniform.
it. And
And
maybe
and
the
her
church
friends-
clothes, that's it.
My mother's 60. Her friends are still there.
We
So
go back
she got
often.
you out.
So me and my brothers, we always talk like, thank God. And
Yes.
her story, she had to charter a plane from, she had to fly, go to the Bahamas, work, charter a plane from the Bahamas into the cane fields in Miami. Then she had to, you know, run through the fields and get a plane to New York, stay in somebody's basement, and then she worked her way up to get us here.
Oh my goodness.
And then I got the nerve.
The nerve.
Oh,
The nerve.
You
like
audacity.
felt bad. You felt
The
terrible.
reason why my daughter has what she has is because,
because
of her.
of her.
Because we could have all been in Jamaica.
What's wrong with you, Duane?
Exactly.
And I really was angry with her.
Oh my
He
God.
was. I mean, he told me, I looked at him like he was crazy. I said,
Oh, you
Oh
did?
my God.
you told me. I was like,
Yeah, I went in and then, but the whole time she was just looking at me like,
Like, you gotta be kidding me.
Mhm. couldn't
the
fathom it.
perspective.
yeah, but that's because I had no understanding.
Right.
So when
Right.
I got it, I was like, oh,
Yep.
okay, Mom, sorry.
Yep. Exactly.
You know,
That's
I'm sorry.
good. That's
Yeah.
powerful. That's powerful. And then that's the thing. I think more parents should do that if possible with their kids.
Just be open.
Yeah, just be
And that's where the
open.
Be
communication
open,
part
yeah,
comes in.
that's big. That's why I say perspective. Like I just had a big conversation with my father the other day. You know, we've had a rocky relationship, but he sat down and just talked to me about just his viewpoint on a lot of stuff. My dad isn't very open to me or to us at all, but he just sat down and just went on just about a whole bunch of different things, and I was like, wow.
Where was that?
It was away. It was great
I
timing.
did not
Right.
see this.
It was great timing, but I was like, wow, like I was really taken aback, and I felt terrible because I'm like faulting him for all this
You
stuff.
had all
but
these
it-
opinions about
yeah,
him.
but it's just like I never knew that. But it's like I can't be the one to blame because he never.
Said
Spoke
it.
about it.
But
You know.
remember, I've always told you, as far as he's concerned, is you got to understand where he came from. You
Yeah.
got to understand what he went through and understand him.
why he is the way he is.
And that's with anyone.
That's with
Yeah,
anyone.
true.
Yeah.
That's
You're
it. Yeah,
Right
it
about
is.
that.
That's with anyone.
Mhm.
True.
I think with me, this was tough for me because, all right, so my mother died when I was 4, and my
sorry.
sister was only 9 months, so we were
Oh,
very
wow.
very young. So we grew up with my father, who he was, because it was a car accident that my mother and father was in. My father was in the hospital for like a very long time, so they didn't think he was going to make it. So he made it. He came out fine. So it was my father and his parents, and then my mother's parents. You know, they did a lot for us too, but we lived with my father's parents. So they're 40-some years old at that time. You know, they had already raised their kids. You know, they had 2 boys. They already raised them. And they took us in.
9
2
months
girls,
old,
2 little
4.
kids. Took us in and just treated us like, you know, they wanted so bad that they didn't want people to tease us because we were being raised by older people. So we had the best clothes ever.
Oh, wow.
They went above and beyond, probably too much.
Overcompensated.
This is why I'm jacked up. This is probably why Erika's jacked up, and it goes on and on and on. So
That's real, man.
it is. I'm telling you,
man.
it's serious.
What's up?
So it's hard for me to say. It's hard for me to think of something that they did that I have to forgive them for.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
They
Because
did
did
it.
Yeah,
so
'cause they
much.
did it.
And my father was there every day. You know, he's the one that taught us how to drive. He's the one that he was there every day. He didn't just let us stay with his parents and just move on.
He was present.
He was present all the time. So, you know, that is difficult. One of the things, and it sounds kind of weird, the only thing I could probably think of is my grandmother and father. They're very, everything is great. They're very
optimistic.
Very, like, too much. Like, too much.
I get angry.
Yes.
Like,
and it's
are you crazy?
You call them and you be like, oh my God, you know, I'm dying here.
Everything happens for a reason.
Exactly. And you know, and I'm
Bye,
like,
Grandma.
so when I grew up with rose-colored glasses, thinking everything was, you know, so when it wasn't, then I'm like, what the heck? Like, okay, wait, you know, like, what's going on? And, you know, they did it with the good intention, but it really jacked me up.
So that's why your biggest fear for her.
Right. It's her being hurt.
It all connects.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you went through it.
I went
because
through it.
they didn't teach you.
Nope.
Okay,
So that's why you have to allow her, but be here to be there to comfort her when she goes through it.
And I think you do a really good job of that. Like, and I feel like I said earlier, I don't want you to see me go through it, but because I know I have to.
Right.
I feel like more so, I know it's not rose, and I feel like I have my dad to thank for that. I know it's not rose.
He shows her the other side. I'm like my grandmother and my father, you know, in a lot of ways. You know, when things are going back, I'll be like, oh, baby, it's okay, you know.
I'm like, Mom, it's bad. Like, period. It's not getting no better right now. It's going to get better, but it's not right now.
I know.
So,
let's just cry right now.
And then my dad, he could be like, he's the total opposite sometimes. He'd be just like, well, it ain't going to work. Like
I'm gonna probably die.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, no. So it's a balance, but
just like I said, you guys, you know, that's how we are. We're very
for me, the sky's always falling.
I'm very optimistic. Yeah.
Right. And he's like,
you just be chilling.
Just relax. Like, no, this is not. Yes, it is. That's me all day. And then he just sits there like, wow.
Why you do that?
Yeah. I'm gonna put a plan in motion. And then when I come back, he has this plan. It's like, oh, I didn't think about that. And he's like, yeah, like
that's a good balance.
You was hollering and screaming, and you should have thought about that. You know.
Thank God for y'all. Y'all have each other. Because Lord have mercy.
Lord have mercy.
Yes.
That's so good. I really love
this. This was great, guys.
Yes.
One of our best episodes, I gotta say.
Duane and Fushsia.
Yes.
And make sure you check Duane out
on Instagram. Fushsia, put your Instagram
at the
_,
Heart of David.
Yes. Yes.
I'm on
if y'all
Instagram.
just want to see me model, I'm just _Fush.
Yes. Very good. Well,
good
this
stuff.
was great. I hope everybody listens to this. And as always, you can always reach out to us with any questions. If you have questions for them, we can get in contact with them, or you can just tap, hit them up as well. But this has been absolutely wonderful.
Yes,
wonderful.
yes. Talk to your parents. Talk to your family.
Please talk to them.
Yes,
you'll be shocked.
Sit them down. Let them listen to this if you can't explain it as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's a good place to start.
Yeah. Just sit down and listen to it.
Yep. And remember, listening is the biggest part of communication.
Yes.
Not just talking.
Wow. That's good.
Yes. And make sure that you guys are subscribing to our text messages. I was trying to find the number, but I can't find it off it. But go on our Instagram and look it up, and make sure you're following us on Instagram. And we're gonna be coming with YouTube soon, but we got a lot of great things on the way.
Yes.
And we're gonna have more guests. Hopefully they'll be like this, because this one was great.
Yes.
We set the bar, guys.
Yes.
We love
Very,
it.
very nice.
We might have to have y'all come back or something because it was great. And to text us is text GC, the letters GC, to 209-692-3886.
Yep.
And then also go on generationconvo.com with our
website.
Our website. We got a lot of things for y'all to find us, so I don't want to hear no excuses.
None.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. It was great. I'm gonna go listen to it again myself.
Yeah. I was gonna say I need the audio.
Yes.
Yeah. Got y'all.
Thank you.
Have a great week.
Thank you guys.